All right, all right. Welcome back, guys, to episode 4 of Talkin Beyond. I'm Marlene,
And I'm Blake.
and today we are talking about our top 5 must watch movies. Now, when I say must watch, I mean you're walking by your living room, you see this on the TV, you're stopping everything you're doing, and you're sitting down and you're watching that thing. What's going on today, Blake?
Not much, man. Just trying to get this stream together. I know we missed the one yesterday, but we're gonna be able to rock one for today for you guys.
Yes, yeah. So obviously, starting next week, we'll go back to Monday, Wednesday, Fridays. Today is a little bit late. Had some technical difficulties yesterday. But yeah, you want to just kick this off, Blake? What's your number 5?
So I'm gonna start off actually with some honorable mentions first. We're not really gonna talk about them, but just kind of like throw them out there. Honorable mentions I got are Pulp Fiction, The Dark Knight, and Superbad.
Oh,
So like a little bit of like a different thing. So we got a comic book, we got a comedy, and we got I guess like a drama. It's hard to define Pulp Fiction, but yeah, Dark Knight probably the best comic book movie ever. Um, Not the best Batman movie, but the best comic book movie. Superbad's my favorite comedy of all time, and then Pulp Fiction's my favorite Tarantino movie.
okay.
So those are my three honorable mentions. Do you have any honorable mentions, Marlene?
Yeah, so for me, my honorable mentions would essentially be the original Mortal Kombat, Invincible
Not
with
not the new one.
not ah, wasn't bad, wasn't bad.
The new one's
Uh,
no, it's good.
it could have been better, but it wasn't bad. Space Jam, the original
It's a
one,
banger.
part
No
one,
LeBron.
LeBron, no. Invincible with Marky Mark, it just barely missed my top 5 because like there's there's too many to watch. Deadpool part 1 is literally right there at number
That's a
6.
good pick.
Yeah, literally right there at number 6 cuz I'm just a huge Ryan Reynolds fan and I'm a huge Deadpool fan. It just you got to watch it. Now my top 5 when you hear them, you understand. But then the last one I have for that is doobity 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 doo. Good Burger. I have to watch me some Good Burger.
Classic.
Yes. So you want to start? You want to start number 5? Or you want me to go?
So I'll do my number five. Um, so my list, I didn't really like put it on movies that I think are easy to watch, but they're movies that are like movies that I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna watch, and I'm not gonna be on my phone. I'm not gonna be like I'm gonna be fully enveloped into this movie.
Yeah.
Number five for me is actually this movie. I have the poster up behind me, Nightcrawler with Jake
Okay.
Gyllenhaal. Um, Nightcrawler, if you guys have never seen it, it's about a guy. He's like a creepy, weird fucking dude. He's weird, and he's just played by Jake Gyllenhaal. His name's Lou Bloom. He lives in LA, lives kind of like at the nighttime. He's like a night crawler. Um, and he just goes to like different crime scenes and he's like trying to be like a crime scene reporter kind of, but is just like recording these like crime scenes, car crashes, people's houses, shooting, like just any kind of stuff like that. And he like tries to make his own business of this, I guess, weird kind of idea. Um, but I mean, it's a really good movie. Jake Gyllenhaal is fucking wild in it. Like he's like you cannot recognize him. He lost like 80 pounds or something for it. He looks like a crackhead. Um, but honestly, he got really snubbed for the Oscars the year it came out. He probably should have won, but you know it's okay. Um, but it's one of my favorite movies, one of my favorite performances. I am a big fan of like dark and like seedy movies, but they also have like a bit of like dark humor into it. For example, in this movie, there's a scene where this guy just got shot and he's like on like the ground and he's like bleeding out, and all the cops and like EMTs and everything are around him, and you see fucking Lou Bloom pull up in his little like beat up Civic or whatever car he drives, like hauls ass into the scene, skirts up hella close to the crime scene, and then just gets out with this big old like junky camera and is like getting right into him. And it's just dumb. Like it's I mean it's not dumb, but it's just a funny scene in an otherwise very serious movie, and it's one of overall like my favorite movies ever. Marlon, what's your number five?
Yeah. Well, also to piggyback on Nightcrawler, it actually is like a really good movie. Like it messed me up when I watched it. I was like, dude, like he
Yeah,
to the point
it's
where
kind
like
of disturbing.
I like at one point almost just he let someone die, right? Just to get a story.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, without going too far into spoilers, but like he uh he decides um not to save people. Like he
Yeah.
gets there before cops in some scenarios, and he can intervene and save people, but instead of doing that, he just films them dying.
It's for the
So it's
story.
kind of weird and it's kind of messed up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
What was his name in the movie?
Lou Bloom.
Oh, Bloom. I thought you said Blue.
No, his name's Lou. Last name Bloom.
Yeah. I was like, if it was Blue, that's a Nightcrawler reference. Yeah. So for me, number five, it's a little bit on the opposite spectrum as far as seriousness goes. So for me, like number five, like if this movie is ever on, I have to watch it. I love this team up. I really hope they come back for a part four. It's been planned. I don't know when it's coming out. Just not trying to watch the TV show. But Rush Hour is like hands down one of my favorite movies of all time. So many
A good
iconic,
one.
yeah, so many iconic lines, so many iconic scenes. Like this thing is like it's in like top 10 of like pretty much anybody's ever watched the movie. They're like, that's one of my favorite movies to watch. Maybe not the best movie overall, but definitely a favorite movie for me to watch. Is just with Chris Tucker. When I first saw him in Friday, and then I saw him in other films. Right, he actually really does not have a huge filmography, but every time he's in something, like I just have to watch it just because I'm such a Chris Tucker fan. But then Jackie Chan, like the fact that we American fans really got to see him in this comedic light. Obviously, he's been in other stuff prior, but this kind of really threw him out there because of how big the film got, and obviously with the sequels and whatnot. But it's really cool to see that, well, that that slapstick martial arts in a more modern urban film. And so it was super funny to see like this just fresh out of the water, like fish in like this weird suburban area. It's a really fun movie to watch. The sequels, I still like part two just as much as part one,
Rush
maybe.
Hour 2 is good.
Yeah,
I like
part
Rush Hour 2.
three, it had some funny stuff, but part three definitely didn't have the same effect as one and two. But yeah, no, one's on, dude. I gotta watch it. Obviously that the bar fight scene, all just from like a misunderstanding.
The bar scene,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know if Jackie Chan can say that.
Hey, apparently he's got the pass. We definitely don't, but apparently Jackie Chan could say it. But I think that you really think about it, it's such a cultural difference, right? But it also shows like how quick we are to react to stuff, and it's funny to see him react through the movie because you see Chris Tucker's character evolve over the film, and then you also
Yep.
see, as Carter, and then obviously as Lee, Jackie Chan's character over it that really starts, evolving through it instead of just being like this like hard ass like for real cop, and then uh Carter, and instead of just being like this like nonchalant, he starts to get a little more serious, starts to care about the girl. He's like, "Willow girl." But my favorite part is like he's like, "Clean yourself." You did. Like it's there's so many good things about that one, but yeah, that's definitely number five. Now for number four, what do you got it at?
So I have my favorite Spielberg movie. I have Jurassic Park at number
Okay,
four.
okay,
Jurassic Park is a movie that I can any time of the day, like if I want to watch a movie that's going to make me feel warm inside and just like makes me all nostalgic, and it's just a good story, and it's just an awesome movie. Jurassic Park, ever since I was a kid, like every little boy is like obsessed with like dinosaurs. So like
yeah, yeah,
watching that movie as a kid and even nowadays, like looking back at some of like the effects they had when it came out,
bro.
that CGI is like nuts for how old that movie is. Um, and just like the story, all like the main characters, you got Jeff Goldblum, you got Sam Neill. They're just like they kill it in the movie. Um, I don't know, it's such a like a feel good movie, and then there's like adventure, action, um, like it's just spectacle, and it's a really fun movie to watch. And Spielberg always always delivers with those kind of movies. Not so much anymore. I don't know. Spielberg hasn't made like an amazing movie in a long time. Um, but those 90s, 80s, early 2000s Spielberg movies were awesome, man. And Jurassic Park definitely tops my list for his movies. Um, but I don't know. I just love Jurassic Park.
Yeah, for me, that movie, it's like when I first, I was scared when I first saw this as a kid,
Yeah,
and
it gets scary.
yeah,
That scene, like where the two kids in the car
dude, it
with the
was
T
like
Rex and the
real horror stuff.
Velociraptor
Yeah,
chase. Yeah,
like definitely if it was me, I'm the homie dying in the bathroom just taking a dump, bro.
just taking a dump, dude.
Just like
Like that
I'm
would
over.
be me. I'd be like, in the worst situation possible. Like I
Yeah.
gotta take a shit and run away.
uh, but dude, I also a lot of time I forget that Samuel L. Jackson's in the movie. Like,
Yeah, yeah. He, I
like
mean, definitely plays a smaller role, but
yeah.
yeah, he is in the movie. I forget about that sometimes too.
Yeah, I
Um,
think
but
yeah, why I like that movie so much, I think kind of leads into why I like my one of my favorite games of all time is Ark. Is because I
yeah,
fell in love with like dinosaurs and prehistoric time. Like that's probably why I play Ark so much. Is because as a kid, like I had the video games on PS1. I watched all the movies left and right. Like I loved them so much, and I think that's why I just nonstop play Ark, even though it's 7 years later since it came out.
dude. Also, like one of the best movie scores of all time.
Oh,
That
100%, yeah.
um
That
That
just yeah, yeah.
dude, it's so good. So good. The Jurassic World movies, not as good. Definitely
Hey,
not.
but this new
The
one though,
first one,
this
the
next one
first one's
though,
good. Fallen Kingdom is not good. And then the new one actually, what is it called?
Dominion
Oh, Dominion, Jurassic World
has
Dominion. It
everyone
actually
in
looks
it.
really good. I'm actually looking forward to that movie a lot. The trailer looks really good.
Yeah. So going on to my number four. Now, everyone in the 313 will agree with me. 8 Mile. Hey, I didn't mean to rhyme. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Now, 8 Mile, like, just as an Eminem fan and just like a hip hop fan, right? Obviously, when you talk about hip hop and you try to bring up Eminem, people just bring out the fact that he's white. But like that movie,
It's
let's
an
just,
awfully hot
yeah,
coffee
it's
pot.
awfully hot coffee pot. Nah, I can't. Um, but no, when you go look at this movie and the fact that you think about what Eminem did for just hip hop and the culture itself, is it really was able to broaden the reach of just being in the United States. It became a worldwide phenomenon, and it allowed other countries to really see more of hip hop as a whole. But the movie
Dude,
itself is a really good movie.
it is a pretty good movie, dude. And Eminem is an Oscar winner because of that.
He's literally an Oscar winner.
He's literally an Oscar winner because of that movie.
Yeah, but he finally got to perform a couple years ago, so that's good.
Yeah.
Everyone was like, "What the heck? Why bring him now?" I was like, "Dude, because he literally stayed at home and slept because he didn't think he was gonna win anything, and then he won,
Mhm.
and then almost 20 years later, he decides to like go up on stage and do it." So for me, it was such a cool experience because you actually got to see like a lot of the underground stuff, and if you actually follow his story, there's so many things and hoops and ladders that he had to go through just to get to where he's at now. Now, obviously, that opened up the door for pretty much any white rapper ever to just come in and do what they want. So that obviously you can say that I mean there's 100 million rappers just like him, right? So that's what's really cool is that it brought hip hop to a higher standard and a higher a better accessibility for people. Now we have pretty much race wars every time music is brought up, but neither here nor
Hey,
there.
his
Yeah,
real name is Clarence.
yeah. Hey, he lives at home with both parents. Um, so moving on. Don't want to get into politics with that stuff, but yeah, 8 Mile. It comes on. I gotta watch it. Probably one of the best soundtracks of all time because there's so many iconic like songs.
Yeah. Got
Like
Exhibit in there too.
Yep, and Sweet Home Alabama.
Actually, the
Yeah,
Exhibit. You've officially been pimped.
I know, dude. Look at your boots. They're starting to grow roots. Like, oh my gosh. All right, no, number three on the list. What you got?
I have a movie that we talked about a few streams ago, and people kind of clowned on it a little bit. But I have number three. I have Signs, dude. It's a fucking good movie, dude.
Now,
I I, I
go. Oh
have
yeah,
a
go go
so
go. Was it
okay
you? Was it
when I
you about the maybe they're not aliens? Was that your theory?
That was not me.
Okay. I'll get to
But
that. Continue. Sorry.
so yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But anyways, I was like young when this movie came
Yeah.
out. Like keep that in mind. Like I was like it's probably like 4 or 5 when this movie came out. Like I was young, and my parents watched it, and it scared the shit out of me. Like I literally, it was for the longest time I would refuse to watch this movie. Like I could not watch it. It would scare the hell out of me. And probably I don't know, like 8 years after that, I was like, you know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna watch it. And I remember just sitting down and just being like enthralled with the movie. Like I couldn't take my eyes off of it. There's just so many good scenes in it, and I feel like it's so underrated. You can fucking say what you want to say about the water's their weakness, whatever. Okay, I mean maybe they didn't know. Maybe in their planet they don't understand. Like, but anyways, um, like that movie has so many like every performance is fire. It's fire. Um, Mel Gibson in that movie crushes it. His personal life is not the. I'm not gonna talk about that, but Mel Gibson crushes it. Joaquin Phoenix kills it. You got Abigail Breslin and the other Macaulay Culkin brother. I don't know. I can't remember his name, but there's 2 scenes in this movie, or actually, I would say 3, that really, really like speak to me. So there's that scene where he's sitting on the brother, him, Mel Gibson, and Joaquin Phoenix's characters. They're sitting on the couch, and they're talking about like, oh, do you ever see signs or whatever? And there's like that monologue he has, and it like, gives me chills every time I watch it. And there's the scene where they all think they're gonna die.
Yeah.
Like they think like they literally have like they're expecting this wave of aliens to come and kill them. So they have like their last supper. They're like, "Yeah, I saw the kids. What do you guys want for dinner?" He's like, "Oh, I want Chinese food. I want waffles." Like all this stuff. So they just make every type of food they want, and they're just sitting there eating everything. And then there's that one point where like they just sit there and they just start crying. They're like, "We're gonna fucking die." And they just start crying, and he like Mel Gibson dad grabs the kids, holds them in, and they just start crying together. And then they hear like thuds and stuff, and they're like, "Fuck, we gotta go."
The
And then
swing
they all go in the
away.
basement.
Swing away. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. Well, so
dude.
looking back at it, that's probably one of the things where he just like just starts swinging. I don't know. I think it's just how he was swinging the bat threw me off, like as an adult now. But yeah, when they realized the water thing, it's like these guys are advanced creatures that come to 70% water, Earth.
But the thing is, like, they don't. Uh, we don't know if other planets have
Yeah,
water.
we
Like,
also
it's
don't know
never
if
been.
if is
We
that how
also
did they
don't know if
know?
other
Yeah,
planets have water.
yeah. How
So
did
they
they
came
know? Yeah,
here, and at that time, this movie was made in like 2004 or 2003. At that time, we didn't know other planets had any sort of hydration on them.
yeah,
So I assume M Night Shyamalan's like, oh, they've never experienced this element before, so that's their weakness. They go to the fucking Earth not expecting it to be shit, and it's 70% of their weakness.
yeah.
I think that's kind of what he's thinking about. And then I don't know, like I get like people fucking clown on it, but I honestly think it's one of my favorite movies ever, and it's one of those movies like I will sit down, I can watch it. I can watch it fucking 5 times this week if I want. I'm still gonna love it.
Yeah, no,
I think a lot of it's nostalgia too.
yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
maybe, but I really, really, really like the movie.
so this is another movie that not that it was ruined, but it's another movie that kind of like when I try to go to remember it, I all I remember is Michael Jackson under a blanket
Oh,
because it's a scary
from
movie,
Scary Movie?
dude. Scary movie has ruined a lot of movies for me. Not like ruined, but something that's actually re-sparked my interest in wanting to go back and watch it is actually a theory I saw about this movie, where they're not aliens at all. They're actually when you watch it right, Mel Gibson's character is actually a priest, and a lot of it does with faith and religion and how they're
Yeah,
combating it and how they talk about an end time coming, and and uh, and the fact that like they actually think the aliens are demons, and that the crop circles are almost like summonings to them coming in, into Earth. And so when you
mhm,
think of it in that aspect and why water is, technically considered a holy element and why that actually
yeah.
combats them, I was like, I actually like that way because I'm super into like ghost
I
supernatural
can
stuff.
I I
Like,
can kinda see that too, honestly.
yeah, because we never saw. I don't believe we even saw ships in the movie, do we?
No, so all you see of the ship is when, uh when he's watching the news footage and he's, like, sitting there obsessed with, like, the
Yeah,
TV.
yeah,
and you see like the bird hit the sky and it just falls down.
Yeah.
That's all you see of it. All you know is like they're like
Oh,
cloaked.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, and again, we don't know really what it could be, but I do like the idea because there is a lot of like religious elements in it and how they're fighting with that belief, and it would almost make sense that if like the aliens are representations of like otherworld demons, and that's
Yeah,
why and because if you think about it, the water affects them, but like the water we saw was one in the house.
like holy water.
Well, I mean, he was he's a father, so. But yeah, no, I
Hey,
thought yeah,
can I mention something really quick?
yes,
So in the chat, Celeste said her number 3 is the Amazing Spider-Man.
yes.
That's that's wild. I'm not gonna comment on it, but I just got to mention it.
I'll mention it. That I honestly think that is probably my favorite Peter Parker. Maybe not so much as a
No,
whole
I
movie.
honestly don't
Yeah,
think the first Amazing Spider-Man
it's
is
not bad at
bad,
all. I
but
really
if
enjoyed
it's in
it.
your top 5,
Okay, okay, let's not go there. All right. So we're number 3, right?
yeah. So what's your number 3?
So my number 3 is also how I got my ass beat as a kid and how I learned very quickly what words not to use. So when you grow up as a kid from the Bay Area and you have no point of reference for anything, you start saying stupid shit and you don't realize it. Now, this movie on my number 3 is Friday with Ice Cube and Chris Tucker. If this movie comes on, I seek this movie out. I watch it at least once a month. Like I fucking love it. You want to talk about iconic lines, iconic movies? This shit was so fucking good with little.
Dude, people still quote this shit. I
Yes.
still hear like a quote, like at least
Yeah.
almost every other day. Like somebody will say like "Bye Felicia,"
And they don't even know
like,
you don't even know what they're talking about. They don't even realize
like,
yeah.
Or, like you got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Or like
They
stuff
won't
like
even
that.
realize they're quoting the fucking movie
No.
and they've never seen it. It pisses me off. Yeah, for me when that came out, I think it was like one Chris Tucker, huge fan. But I watched this, I was like, it was so cool because it didn't feel like a movie I had ever seen before, because it was just like a day. It's like a day in a life. Yeah, it's just a day in a life hangout movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a movie. Like you go rewatch it, like there's really just no premise to it. I mean, there is.
I mean, they're just chilling.
Yeah, they owe people money, and that's the end of it. But yeah, no, dude, like 100%. One of my top 5 movies of all time to watch is Friday. Now, part 2,
it's an easy watch.
Yeah, and I can never be sitting there and watch it and be like, all right, I want to watch something else. No, like I'm watching the whole fucking thing because it's that funny and it's consistently funny. Now you go watch part 3, you go watch part 2. There are parts in the movie you're like, all right, I could do without this. Yeah, but dude, yeah, number 3,
the
Friday.
fact that they're missing Chris Tucker too is like,
I mean, he got expensive really quickly.
Yeah, he did.
And
after that, John Witherspoon. He do like The Fifth Element and Rush Hour, and like he got hella big.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, R.I.P. John Witherspoon, Tiny, Zeus, R.I.P. And Ezel, I forget his actual IRL name, but I know they've been trying to plan Last Friday for a while, and now a lot of the cast members are passing away, so it is unfortunate.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
It might not even happen now. Yeah. So, before we go on to our top 2, let's kind of look at these other ones that are posted. We'll start off with Leo. Leo's number 5, Inglourious Bastards, Snatch.
That's Inglourious Bastards was close to being in mine.
Well, I mean, Arriva Dirch.
Arriva Dirch.
La La Land, Do the Right Thing, Empire Strikes Back.
La La Land is the only musical I can really like fuck with.
Really?
La La Land's actually a really good movie if you can watch. I really don't fuck with musicals.
You don't like Hairspray?
No.
You didn't like John Travolta as a woman?
No, I'm good.
Right. Transphobic.
All right. Empire Strikes Back too. It's a classic.
We got another one. Honorable mention: Training Day.
Dude, Training Day slaps. Yeah, Training Day is good.
All right. Number 4, Silence of the Lambs. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one. Number 5 is gonna be John Wick. Friday. Thank you. This is for the Heart A388. Yeah. 3 is Old School. That one's good.
Old School is a really good comedy.
2, 7. Okay.
7 was really close to being in mine.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, like, how is that? Because we were just talking about it. And number 1, Dark Knight. I can respect it. I respect it.
Yeah.
Now let's see. My wife's honorable mentions: American Sniper, Gone Girl, White Chicks.
Gone Girl's a really good one.
Yeah, once
White
you
Chicks is a guilty pleasure.
yeah, once you go Terry Crews, you need a wheelchair. Her top five is Ace Ventura, Silence of the Lambs, The Amazing Spider-Man, Yes Man.
Mm.
That makes sense. You know, Jim Carrey's her favorite actor, so that's why he's in there twice. And the number one's Inglorious Bastards. Arriva Dirt.
Yeah, I respect it. Those are all good movies.
You got any more? Let's see.
We
Leo.
got Brianna. Brianna has number 5, Jeepers Creepers. Dude, Jeepers Creepers is really underrated too.
The first one.
The director, yeah, the first one.
The first
Uh,
one.
the director is a piece of shit, but it's okay. We'll talk about that later.
That's a different one.
For Big Daddy, Big Daddy is one of my favorite like feel good
And
comedy movies.
that's that. See, there's pretty much every. Well, not not every Adam Sandler. I'm looking at you, Jack and Jill. But yeah, Big Daddy, Mr. Deeds, Happy Gilmore, Billy
Gilmore,
Madison.
Yeah,
If I could just put a category of just Adam Sandler films,
he
I
had a
just
lot
love
of
them.
classics. Maybe
Yeah,
we'll do like a top 5 Adam Sandler.
easily. Yeah. And what else was on there?
Yeah. So then we got Jaws,
Okay.
classic, really good one. The Town.
I
The Town is
fuck you.
I've I've said that fuck you. I've said like a bunch of these movies are almost on my
Yeah,
list, but like it's so hard to make a
it
top
really
5
is.
list.
The Town.
There's so many
Yeah,
good movies. Like The Town is one of my favorites. The Town is a movie I've seen probably like 15 times and I love it.
yeah.
And it's so quotable.
That one
The
made me
Town
love
where
Jeremy Renner.
yeah, the town where he says we're gonna hurt some people and we can't tell you whatever blah blah, and he goes, whose car we taking?
Yeah,
He doesn't even ask any
just
questions.
looks at him
Fucking
like
love it.
just doesn't even break a sweat. Yeah.
Yeah, whose car we taking?
Number one, Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yes,
Any Boston movie, The Town, and Departed. Thank you,
yes.
Ron. The Departed is so fucking
The
good,
Departed.
and Marky Mark gets the last laugh. That made me so happy.
Dude, what does he say? Oh, he goes, Marky Mark has a really, really good quote in that movie. He goes, maybe not. Maybe go fuck yourself.
Dude, it's so good. And the fact at the end, I was like, at one point, I'm like, oh, dude, who the fuck is not dying in this movie? Like, they
It starts
kill,
getting capped.
bro. They kill
Like in
Leo.
the last 30 minutes,
Bro.
everybody's getting domed.
Well, Leonardo DiCaprio's character just fucking gets popped. And I'm like, oh, what the fuck?
Spoilers.
Like,
Yeah, and it's out of nowhere too. They're just in the elevator and just goes boom, pop.
Yeah.
Just get fucking shot in the head.
it's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so many good Boston movies.
Yeah. There's too many to count on that one. All right.
Yeah.
Number 2, Blake, what is it?
My number 2 is Interstellar.
Oh.
Interstellar is fucking good, dude. It's really good. My 3 and 2 are both movies that people have clowned on in the past. Interstellar is, I think, honestly, I really don't get the hate for it. Like, there's some people that like don't like the movie, and I guess it is long. It's a kind of a confusing story, but dude, like, if you just want to watch a movie and just be like completely immersed and just like with the music, the visuals, the performances, the story, I'm like, throw on Interstellar, dude. If you want a good movie to like demo out your TV, your sound system, like Interstellar's such a good movie for that. The score in the movie, dude. Hans Zimmer kills it. Christopher Nolan. It's my favorite Nolan movie, probably. Um, Inception was almost on my list too. But anyways, Interstellar though, Matthew McConaughey kills it as well. Dude, that scene in where he gets off of the planet where it's like every hour or whatever is like 7 years in Earth time, and then he gets to see like the transmissions from his kids, and his kid is like older than him now,
Yeah.
and then she goes, "Oh, when you left, you said that it was like your 44th or whatever year it was," and then she's like, "Oh, today's my 44th birthday." And
That's
he just starts fucking
wild.
crying. He's like bawling his eyes out. Matthew McConaughey is like acting his fucking soul out of his brain. Like, he's just it's such a good movie, man. Michael Caine, dude. There's so many good actors. Casey Affleck, Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. I really don't get why people hate on it. I mean, I guess like this stuff with where he falls through the I don't even know what to call it. I don't know. But he falls through like that weird like prism thing. And it turns out he was the ghost or whatever in the beginning.
Yeah.
I
Always knocks
don't
down
know,
the
dude.
book.
Yeah, where he knocks down the book
Yeah.
and he's like changing the time on the watch and stuff.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie, man. I love it. It's like a almost 3 hour long movie, but I can literally watch it anytime. And I love it. I know a lot of people in my friend group love it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, see Leo, look, now I'm swapping Snatch for
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Interstellar. Dude, yes. Interstellar is so good, man. I love it. It was one of those movies that I like barely caught in the theater. It was like almost when it was done playing, and I just saw it in like the smallest screen possible in Regal,
Mm.
and it pissed me off because like now looking back, I'm like, damn, I should have watched that in IMAX. But obviously I was like fucking 15, so I didn't drive. um, but I don't know, it's such a good movie. Like, what do you think about it, Marlon? I feel like when I said Interstellar, you went,
It's because it's one of those movies and I watched and I was like, fuck. Then I watched it again and I was like, God damn it. Because one of those movies where like when you hear the public opinion and you hear people like it's because people don't get it. People don't understand what's going on in the movie. That they're like, oh, it's kind of like when some people hate on Rick and Morty. It's too smart, you're stupid. Interstellar is so genius in how they twist that. And I'm like, when they go, like you said, when they go into that prism area where it's almost like the Watcher going in between, like, all like the multiverse, and he
yeah,
realizes like that was him the whole time. I'm like, bro, I was like, oh my god, like I had to
the movie's
rewatch
a
it.
mind
Yeah,
fuck for real.
it is, and that's I do enjoy it. And at the end, it's emotional because you're like, fuck, bro, everyone's
Dude,
dead,
I cry every
everyone's
time I
dead.
watch it.
He's outlived everyone, and it's like, fuck, what do you do now?
And he comes back when he gets back on the like Earth is gone or whatever, and they build like that
Yeah,
space station and he sees his like daughter, and she's like in her deathbed, like she's about to die, and she's so old, and he comes back and just like she's like, I knew you'd be back.
all right,
I don't know.
pause.
It's so good, man.
Leo, I can't with you right now.
Wait, what do you say? You saw it alone in IMAX at Galaxy.
Nah, 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 nah. Under that. That's that comment alone is a whole nother video for a
Okay,
whole
no,
other
no, no, no,
day.
no, 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 no. This is where we divide. Last Jedi is a good movie.
I
It's
but you're saying okay, you can say good. I will not give it more than that. I
no,
will
I will
not
give it
give it more
more
than
than
that.
that.
All right. See, that's where we
It's
just keep
it,
going. Nah,
it's in my top
nah.
3 Star Wars movies.
The so my only problem with it is if 3 didn't exist, I would respect Last Jedi more. If the fucking last one did not exist, or with the Rise of the Skywalker, if Rise of the
Well, that's not
Skywalker,
its fault.
I know, but if it didn't exist, I might appreciate Last Jedi more. It is the
Well, yeah, the
fact.
trilogy. I mean, okay. This is for a separate video.
Yes,
We'll talk more
yes.
about this
We'll
later.
talk
We
about this
cannot get
another
off
one.
the
No,
topic. But it's a good movie. It's a great movie.
it makes you so mad you
And
hate it. No, it's. I we will talk about another one. There's the movie itself is enjoyable. It was the lack of payoffs moving forward is what pissed me off, not the movie itself. It's what happened past the movie is what pissed me off. Okay. Anyways,
end of
uh,
discussion.
end of discussion. Okay, we don't talk about Star Wars here right now. Number
All right.
two for
Let's see.
me, number
Okay.
two movie all time is Morbius. JK, that movie fucking sucks. Number two,
Celeste said Looper. Looper's a good movie.
dude. Okay, so the great part is like that was one of the movies I really didn't do trailers for. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, that's him. Oh, that's him.
Dude, that was badass.
Yeah, that's a really good
It's a
one.
cool movie.
I
It's
always
a
will
good movie.
love time travel movies. Whatever, dude. No, yeah, we'll explain. Leo, you're gonna be on that one too, because now we gotta fight. Okay, but number
Yeah,
two
okay.
for me.
Leo, we have to get Leo
Yeah.
on a last or like a Star Wars ranking
Yes.
video.
Yes.
Okay.
Because if number one movie isn't Rogue One, then I fucking hate you.
Rogue One's in my top
All
5.
right. Okay, my number two movie of all time is Boondock Saints. Now, Knives Out's good. Norman Reedus, I have fucking loved since Blade 2 and his small little role in that movie. It's because like it was one of those characters he kind of always plays like the same dude, right? But in Boondock Saints, it was so fucking cool because I love anytime there's supernatural or anything religious to a film, just because like it's weird. It's cool to see these characters interact and how a lot of other non-religious characters interact with them. So there's
I
two.
like seeing like the sorry to interrupt you,
Go
but
for
like I like seeing religious characters that are also kind of like shitty people,
it.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they have like that conflict.
Yep. I
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I love
I
the
think it makes it
contradiction.
yeah.
Yeah. And so for this movie, like it's two brothers that literally get into a fight with mobsters, and then as they're like they barely survive, they get like a calling from God because like one of the fathers in the church, and they just go on a spree. It's like and they're over here like, oh, these are, and you have Willem Dafoe playing the detective that's going and investigating everything. He did, I don't know how he got into character for this movie, but he does a fantastic job in it. And it's funny because like even like as a detective, like he's fucking painting a picture every single time he's investigating. Like he's doing like supernatural almost
Isn't
to a
he like
point.
listening to music and stuff
Yes, and
too?
he like
Yeah.
recreates everything in his head, dude. It's very much like it felt like a Death Note, but not the movie, like the manga and comics and shit. The
Oh, you don't like the
anime.
Netflix movie?
Let's not talk about that either. Um, the anime, but like, dude, like he's like such a great detective, and these brothers are just amateurs, just going around thinking they're doing God's work. So it's super interesting how they interact. It's just always gonna be one of my favorite movies because obviously I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, so I'm gonna love Norman Reedus regardless. But that movie is so good and such a classic, and yeah, it's an underrated film that I feel like a lot more people should watch if they haven't watched already. Because and one of the most
Yeah.
iconic lines from the whole movie is the guy in the fucking bar. He's like, "Why don't you make like a tree and get the fuck out of here?" uh,
Dude, I haven't seen that movie in years,
yeah,
honestly. I really don't remember much of it. I remember that line. I remember him, the big dude, I forgot his name. He's like talking to them on the phone
yeah,
in the beginning. And then honestly don't remember too much of it. I was like I want to say I was pretty young when I watched it.
yeah.
So,
It's one of the few movies I actually own on Blu-ray because like I know you guys like to collect them. I literally own like
physical media,
yeah, I own like maybe four or five actual movies. Now
I own like 400 and
yeah,
something.
now number one of all time, Blake. What do you got?
My number one all time is a pretty recent movie. It came out a couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
It is a Korean movie. So I don't know what the fuck they're saying if I don't have subtitles, but it is Parasite. Parasite, dude. Okay, I'm gonna have to fucking make like a 45-minute long video if I actually want to fully talk about
Yeah,
Parasite. But dude, it is a genre defining movie. There's like 7 different genres in this movie. Every shot is an art piece, and it like really makes you question like the morality of the fucking main characters because they're kind of pieces of shit. Like they're like conning this rich family. They're like a really low income, really poor family, and they're like conning this rich family to like get into their house and have them pay them, and like acting like they're like their housekeepers, tutors, drivers, everything for this rich family. And then I'm not gonna spoil it if you guys haven't seen it, but halfway through the movie takes a fucking hard left, and it just turns into like a horror movie, like uh disturbing like thriller, and like it's nuts. Um and the first time I watched it, dude, I was just sitting there like I the main reason I watched it when I first came out was because I saw the director Bong Joon-ho. I was a big fan of his movie called Snowpiercer with Chris Evans, where
yeah,
they're on the
that's
train.
a good movie.
That is a good
Are you
movie.
talking about the
Um,
sequel to Charlie and Chocolate Factory,
Fuck off.
right?
It is kind of similar. It's weird how like
Willy
similar
Wonka,
those two
yeah,
movies
Willy
are.
Wonka, Charlie Factory.
Um, but I was a big fan of his movie, so I saw he was coming out with this, and it had like a lot of Oscar buzz, and people were talking about how good it was. And then I rented it on, I think it was like Prime Video or something, and just watched it, man. And every like 5 minutes, I was just saying to myself, like, wow, like what the hell? And it's not so like so a lot of like the really good movies coming out nowadays are like the really good original stories are coming from other places in the world,
Yeah,
especially Korea, bro. Korea, South Korea, especially, not North Korea. I don't know what the fuck they're doing there. Um, but anyways, um, South Korea, they are like making really good movies, man. Parasite is definitely probably my favorite Korean movie. I mean, I don't know if Snowpiercer counts because it's an all English movie, but
Yeah.
um, Parasite though, dude, it's something else, man. Like you really have to watch it to kind of understand. Like if I tell you about the story, you're not gonna be like, oh, you know. I can't really sell you on it without fully spoiling it. And it's a newer movie, so I'm not gonna fully spoil it, but it is a really, really good movie. And if you sit down and watch it, read the subtitles for 2 hours, you guys can do it. It's a really, really good movie. Have you ever seen it, Marlene?
Yeah, that's still one movie I'm yet to see, unfortunately.
Dude,
Yeah.
you gotta watch it.
Yeah, it's one of those where like I wasn't sure, and then it was winning Oscars, and anytime a movie wins Oscars, I'm like, that movie might not actually been that great, but it's one of those where I actually saw a lot of reviews on it. I was like, fuck. It's just one of those movies like I have to make the time to sit down and really pay attention because obviously subtitled movie, right? So anytime I have one like that, I want to make sure and pay attention to it. So it's still something I do have to get around to, and I feel guilty by saying that, but yes, I still have to
Dude,
see it.
so there's a scene though halfway through. It's just it takes a hard fucking left, and you do not see any of what happens in the second half of the movie coming, and it makes it so like you're just on the edge of your seat, man. It's a great movie. I know it's probably not the easiest movie to watch because there's some fucked up shit in it,
Yeah.
but it's like it's funny, it's like really comedic in some scenes, it's scary in some scenes, it's weird, it's like dramatic, it's like a thriller. I don't There's so many different genres. Like I don't know, man. I love it. What's your number one, Marlene?
So my
Let's hear it.
number one of all time
I already know what's
is,
coming.
yeah, it's I'm gonna try to give you everything I got. I watch this dude, I watch this fucking movie so much. I've seen it over 100 times, bro. Like when like this came out, I went to the movies and saw this shit 3 times to the point where we got the movie poster from Regal because I was just there so much and they kept seeing me watch the movie. And so my number one of all time was a movie that came out in 2009 starring Paul Rudd. I Love You, Man. Like one of the only movies I own on physical copy. Um, it's such a fucking good movie, dude. And I will say there is one slight section of the movie where I'm just kind of like, all right, it's a little slow, but
What section?
it is essentially it is after they kind of like split for a little bit. It's that part,
Yeah, where they
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
right before the
Yeah,
end.
it gets a little bit slow, but dude, I'm a sucker for like these buddy movies, and I'm a sucker for Paul Rudd, dude. I love Paul Rudd so much, and I just again, you talk about a movie with like just like quotable lines for days and days and days, and the fact that you just got Lou Ferrigno for some reason it's so
Slap the
funny.
bass.
It's slap at the base. It's just my favorite movie of all time.
He's like up here.
Yeah, he's up here. Did you play this? I usually play down here, but you know when I'm airplaying, it's up here. Um, and Rashida Jones, that's my celebrity crush. So,
He pisses me off in that movie though, low key.
yeah, a little bit.
When they go to the Rush concert and she's like all being all jealous and shit, I'm
Yeah,
like, dude,
yeah.
that's Rush is
It's
their fucking thing.
fucking
Let them,
Rush.
yeah, like it's fucking Rush, dude. It's Tom
Yeah,
Sawyer.
and for
He's
me,
like, actually, the word today
yeah,
is Tom Sawyer.
for me being uneducated, like it actually took me to that movie to actually get and make me listen to more of that genre. And so that's what I also respect about different movies and stuff we watch, right? As growing up in the Bay Area, I literally just listened to rap like all throughout life. And as you grow up, there's music outside of hip hop. And that's why like stuff like this, classic rock is like it's really hard to just be classic rock in that feel that you have. I
Yeah.
mean, where we work, a lot of the stuff we demo is how you have live music and how it sounds. It's dude, I just love that movie so much. Just because from the references to who's in it, and it's I don't know, it's just it's so funny to see two people of the opposite spectrum, right? And interact, and they could still be like best friends. It's so cool.
One of my favorite scenes in that movie is when they're doing the open house,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Oh, they're not gonna buy the movie, or they're not gonna buy the house.
yeah,
They're like the couple," and then he's like, "Watch that guy has to fart right
yeah.
now,
And he
or
just left
whatever." And
on.
he's like, "Oh, baby, like, go take a look over here. I'm gonna see what's going on." And then he like creates the space.
Yeah,
The girl
yeah,
walks
yeah.
away, and he's like, "Watch, watch, watch,
A
watch."
play by
You see
play.
him lift his leg, and he goes,
Yeah.
"He just farted in my open house."
That's a
Like,
fucking fart. And then
that's a
later
fucking
he's
fart.
like,
Yeah.
"Hey, roll down the windows in that car, honey. It smells like fart." But yeah, so
It's fucking funny,
my
dude.
top five: Rush Hour, 8 Mile, Friday, Boondock Saints, and I Love You, Man.
They're all good choices, man. I think we went two different
Yeah,
directions with our list. I went
yeah,
definitely more serious, like darker movies, and you went more like comedic and easy to watch movies.
yeah.
If I can like mention a couple of those comedic, easy to watch movies real quick, Superbad is probably my most watched comedy. I've probably seen that thing like fucking 50 times. I can say every line of it. Um, it's kills me every time still. The whole penis like drawing scene fucking kills me, dude. It's
Yeah,
like you hit Becca's foot with your dick. Like, so stupid. Um, like super bad, Big Daddy. I Love You Man's a really good one. Um, there's any pre like 2000 Adam Sandler movie
yeah,
is really good. But I don't know. There's a shit ton of movies I want to talk about on this channel, but we obviously got a lot of videos to talk
yeah,
about
yeah.
those movies in. So
Yeah, well, on Fridays we'll do more top five
I'll say,
Fridays. So, yeah, I mean that I know we went a little longer than expected, but that is our top fives. But must see, must watch movies. Next week we'll have another top five for you. Not exactly sure which one it will be, but it will be on Friday at its normal time at 9 p.m. Any final thoughts? Like,
if you guys haven't seen Parasite, go fucking watch it.
yeah, and if you're me, I'll go fuck myself. Um,
Absolutely.
yes. All right, that's Uncut Gems. Another one I gotta watch. Um,
Dude, Uncut Gems is fucking good too, man.
all right,
Adam
man.
Sandler, dude, his performance in Uncut Gems is fucking good.
Oh my gosh.
It's
Okay.
really good.
Well, that's all we have for today's video. Come back and watch us on Monday for our Monday recaps. We kind of go over everything that's happened in the last week. That's it for today. I'm Marlene,
I'm Blake.
and this is